Welcome to the Abundance Hack Podcast, where we want to inspire you to push past your blocks, limiting beliefs, and comfort zone to live a confident, happy, and fulfilling life. I am your host, Niajae, influencer, motivational speaker, and boss babe. Every time you hit subscribe or leave a 5-star rating, I do my happy dance. Hey guys, thank you for watching or listening the Abundance Hack Podcast. On this episode, I am going to dive deep into the law of attraction. So I am releasing a book that talks about abundance, the secrets to living an abundant life. I have 7 secrets or 7 steps. And the very first step I'm going to share with you today, which is understanding the law of attraction. So before I dive into that, I want to tell you a little bit about my story. So if you listen to the pilot episode, I dove right into my 10 core beliefs, but I didn't tell you much about my backstory. So this is really important because of the topic. It's not something that I understood from the beginning. So I was born in the Bronx, New York, single mom. My dad wasn't 100% sure I was his. Still to this day, I don't think he's 100% sure I'm his. So that'll give you a little bit of an understanding of my childhood and my backstory. And by statistics, you would probably think that I'd have 3 baby daddies, 5 kids, living off of government assistance. But I have completely been able to change my life. And I shouldn't say change. I will say I have completely been able to custom design my life. I have traveled the world. I've started several businesses. I moved to Florida. I'm fully remote. I live by the beach and I have the life of my dreams. And the reason why I was able to achieve that is because I understood the law of attraction. So the law of attraction was first introduced to me by The Secret. Now, I've always had a little bit of intuition and I've always been very driven. I've always been very motivated to have a specific life and a specific lifestyle, but things didn't really start happening for me until I understood the law of attraction. So, as I said, the Secret, that was the first time I was introduced to it. So, book by Rhonda Bryan. I believe Oprah made it super famous, and a lot of people have read it or at least heard about it. And the concept is what you think about, you bring about. Now, I believe this wholeheartedly. So I'm going to break down 5 things that I want you to know about law of attraction. So number 1 is what you think about, you bring about. And everything is energy. Everything is energy. So if you are constantly stressed out and constantly complaining, you are going to attract more negativity to you. Does that make sense? So if you are constantly thinking about being late for work or for a meeting, you're going to attract every red light. Everything is energy. So what you're thinking about, you're bringing about. So you want to use that to your advantage once you understand that. You want to think about things that you want to draw to you. So maybe you want to think about money. But again, money is energy. So if you think about the lack of money, then you're going to block money from coming in. So you want to think about an abundance of money. And if you are constantly worried about a relationship or constantly worried about your partner cheating or lying, you're going to draw that to you, or your mind will make up stories to make you think that you're right. Our minds love to be right, and it's an energy. So you'll find little things to nitpick at to confirm that you're right. So you want to make sure you are thinking loving thoughts, thinking positive thoughts, thinking abundant thoughts. So you're attracting more of that to you. You ever notice when you're in a really, really good mood, everything just seems to go your way? and the lights are all green, your partner is extra loving today, and you made extra money, or you found money, or you got a new client, whatever the case may be, it's because of the energy that you are exuding. It is because of your positive thoughts. It's because of the abundant thoughts that you were thinking. So when you really understand how powerful your mind is, you start to shift your thoughts, and you want to make sure you're thinking things to attract what you truly want in your life.
People often say motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. Zig Ziglar. Living a fulfilling and happy life takes conscious effort. Join Abundance Hack Members Club to receive motivational videos, affirmation recordings, and guided meditations for you to maintain a positive mindset and high vibrations. Head over to abundancehack.com for more information. Now back to the show.
The second thing that I want to bring up about the law of attraction is the fact that it's not a physical item. So if I want, let's say, what do I want? Let's say I want a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee is not going to just appear out of thin air. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. But if I'm thinking about a cup of coffee and how the caffeine is going to make me feel, and how it feels warm in my hand, and how smooth it feels going down, I may go somewhere and someone may say, hey, you want to grab a cup of coffee? So it's not a direct correlation of like, I think coffee and it magically appears. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. And I have heard stories of people say they thought about something specific, maybe a cup of coffee, for example, and someone at their job just happened to surprise them with a cup of coffee. It's definitely possible. But the reality is, if I work from home, so if I'm sitting home and I'm thinking about a cup of coffee, the chances of someone actually bringing me a cup of coffee when I work from home is slim to none. So you have to understand that it's not magic. It's not voodoo. It's not necessarily woo-woo. Okay, some people think that the law of attraction and manifestation is a little woo-woo, but it's not any type of like magic or witchcraft or anything like that, but it's more of an energy. It's more of an energy. If you're thinking about a cup of coffee and maybe sitting at a cute little coffee shop, maybe someone will call you and say, hey, let's grab a cup of coffee. Something like that. So understanding that it's not going to help you manifest a physical item into reality, like, poof, here it is. So understanding that, but understanding that it is energy. Everything is energy. So if you're thinking about a specific car, for example, say you want a brand new car, you'll start to see these cars on the road more. Have you ever noticed that? You think about a car, if you say, hey, I want a brand new Tesla, and the next thing you know, you see all these Teslas on the road where before you never saw them. And you ever notice, like, when you're feeling like, this is a really good example. When you get into a new relationship and you're feeling loved because you're like on cloud nine and you have all the butterflies from the new relationship, then you have all these people that are trying to ask you out and trying to talk to you. It's because you're exuding this energy of love and butterflies and that cloud nine feeling. So people are drawn to that. People that want to date you are drawn to that feeling. So it's all about energy. Everything is energy. So when you're aware of that, you start to be conscious and self-aware of the energy that you are putting out in the world or in the universe. So the third thing is the universe doesn't understand do and don't. Okay, so let me break this down. So if you are saying, I don't want to be late, 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 your focus is on being late. So even though you're saying, I don't want to be late, the universe hears late, late, late. And then that's when you start hitting all the red lights. That's when you spill your cup of coffee on your pants and then you have to like change your clothes. And that's when you stub your toe and you lose your keys because your focus is on late. And that's the energy that you're exuding. So you want to focus on what you do want. Now, obviously in life, things happen, life happens, and you start to be aware of what you don't want. But it's important once you identify what you don't want, it's important that you focus on what you do want. So once you say, you know what, I don't want this type of car, for example, I'm just giving random examples, then don't think about that type of car anymore. You know, in the back of your mind, you don't want it, but start focusing on the type of car you do want. Focus on the type of business you do want. Focus on the type of friends you do want. Focus on the type of lover you do want. And let that be your thoughts of what you do want. Because again, the universe does not understand do's and don'ts. It's whatever you focus on. And I shouldn't say it doesn't understand. It doesn't resonate what you do or don't want. It's what you focus on. So if you're saying, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, it's your focus, and that's energetically what you are attracting to you. So focus on what you do want. Focus on the positive. Focus on the things that make you feel good. Focus on the things that set your soul on fire. So the next thing is vibrations. Keeping your vibrations high. So when I say vibrations, I mean your energy. So there are a lot of people that are just existing in life. They're very, very stuck in these monotonous ways, and they're just existing. They're like very blah. That's a low vibration. So sadness is a low vibration. Depression is a low vibration. Anger is a low vibration. Jealousy is a low vibration. So you want to make sure you're keeping your vibration high. Happiness is a high vibration. Excitement is a high vibration. Joy, passion, love. Love is the highest vibration there is. So you want to focus on as many things that you love as possible. You want to focus on the passion. You want to focus on the things that excite you in life. Do you know people that are just very like monotone? They don't get upset about anything, but they also don't get excited about anything, and they're just very monotone. It's just like your lifeline. When that lifeline is just flat, you're dead. You're dead. You're just existing. You're not living. You want to live and then take it one step further and thrive. So that's why I started this podcast, to see as many people thriving as possible. So you want to make sure your vibrations are high. And maybe I'll do another episode on how to keep your vibrations high and a bunch of tips to maintaining a high vibration. But for now, I'll just say, do things that make you feel good. Start to pay attention. When I do this, I feel really good. When I do this, I don't feel good. So stay away from the things that don't feel good and do more of what feels good to you. And then setting really good self-care regimens and getting into patterns of self-care. So getting a proper amount of rest, drinking water. Hydration is so important. Whether you meditate or do yoga, it's really important to ground yourself. So I know a lot of people think that like meditation is maybe not for them because they don't want to sit with their legs crossed, but it doesn't have to be that. But finding a way to clear your mind of the mental chatter. There's so much mental chatter, and people are constantly scrolling on social media and stuff like that, which contributes to mental chatter. So even if you don't sit with your legs crossed to meditate, you want to find an activity that helps you clear your mind to raise your vibrations. When you can clear your mind, that's when fresh thoughts and fresh ideas and fresh feelings come to you. If you have all this mental chatter, it's like you're not refreshed and you're not rebooting. Just like you have to reboot your computer or your phone and you get like new updates on your phone. your body and your mind is very similar to that. So you want to make sure you are taking time to reset and renew your mind. So that's really, really important. Some people exercise and that helps them clear their mind. Some people fish, some people dance. I mean, whatever you need to do that fits your lifestyle, do that to refresh your mind. So the next thing is everything you want is completely and utterly possible. Everything you want is completely and utterly possible. So one of the things about my situation and me telling the story of my childhood is that no one around me was starting businesses. No one around me had a successful life. No one around me was traveling internationally. And when I decided this is what I want for my life, people were like, yeah, right. Or like, this girl is crazy. When I went on my first international trip, people were like, well, why do you want to do that? And you're going alone? I went alone and people were like, you're crazy. But you know what? I saw a vision for my life. And even if people couldn't see it, and even if people didn't think it was possible, I saw it and I believed it and I took action. I didn't allow people saying this girl is crazy to stop me or slow me down. I went for it. And you know what? Since then, I have achieved some amazing things that some people wouldn't even think is possible, especially for someone who didn't have support from parents. I didn't have parents that started businesses. I didn't have parents. My parents don't even have passports, but I saw a vision for my life and I went after it. So it's really, really important that you believe that what you want is possible. I started and sold a business. I sold a brick and mortar business. I've traveled to Paris, to Italy, to like all over the Caribbean, to Tahiti, one of my favorite trips. Tahiti was a top goal of mine. So I went to Hawaii. I went to Hawaii when I was like 21 and everything was Tahitian culture in Hawaii. This is Tahitian hula. This is Tahitian something. Like everything was Tahitian. And so the way my brain operates, I said, you know what? I don't want the American watered down version. I used to be really sassy. I still am sassy, but this is how I said it. I'm like, I don't want the American watered down version. I want the real thing. I want the real thing. I want to go to Tahiti. So this was like a top goal of mine, a top travel destination. And it took me about 10 years to be able to manifest it, but I was able to manifest it. I went to Tahiti and stayed in an overwater bungalow. It was a birthday gift to myself because I work damn hard. And I stayed in an overwater bungalow and it was absolutely amazing. So 10 years prior, did I know how I was going to get there? No. Did I know that, you know, I'd be able to treat myself and stay in an overwater bungalow at the time? No. But you know what? I believed that it was going to happen and it did. So the most important thing is that you believe that everything that you want and desire is possible. That is the important thing. So just to recap, the 5 things that I want you to understand about the law of attraction is what you think about, you bring about. Our minds are so powerful. Our thoughts create our reality. So start to shift your thoughts to positive. Start thinking positive. Let your default thought be something positive. If you notice that you have a lot of negative thoughts, start to stop yourself when a negative thought comes into your mind. And I'm not referring to emotion. So let me just clarify this really quick. Now, obviously, you guys want to read the book because I go into more detail in the book, but just to clarify, a negative thought that's pointless that you should stop thinking is thinking badly about someone or something. So trying to find the good in things. So like if you say, oh, I don't really like her outfit. What is the purpose of that? And this is obviously a silly example, but what is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of you thinking that negative thought? Absolutely no purpose whatsoever. So even if, like for a guy, you may say, I don't like his car. Why are you thinking that negative thought? It's a negative thought that's only putting negativity out into the universe. So you want to stop yourself when you think negative thoughts and replace it with something positive. Because the more good that you see in this world, the more good is going to appear. Does that make sense, you guys? But the clarification that I want to point out is I'm not saying dismiss negative feelings or emotions. So negative thoughts that are just pointless, yeah, just don't think a negative thought. Stop yourself. At one point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put a rubber band. This is a little crazy, so I don't highly recommend this, but I put a little rubber band or like a ponytail holder around my wrist. And anytime I said a negative thought, I would pull it to like pop myself. Not like hard or anything crazy like that, but just like a little gentle reminder to where my brain was like, okay, nope, no negative thoughts. Now, trying to dismiss negative emotions or feelings is a form of spiritual bypassing, which I will get into in another chapter in my book. But you want to acknowledge and honor any feelings or emotions that come up. So if something triggers you, for example, so like let's say you meet a person and they say something that bothers you, I'm not saying dismiss that feeling, because that feeling or emotion is teaching you something that you need to know that may need to be healed. So like if someone says something that for some reason just stings or just really bothers or irritates you or rubs you the wrong way, ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Am I taking this personally? Is there something that I need to heal? So I could get really deep into that, but that's not what this specific episode is about. So that's more about like unresolved traumas or pain or suppressed pain. But I just wanted to clarify, in the process of you shifting your mind and your thought and your mindset to positive, still acknowledge feelings and emotions, but just pointless negative thoughts, start to shift that to positive. Find something good. So if you say, oh, I don't like his car, try to replace that with something positive. Even if you have to look really, really hard, find something positive to say or think about that situation. When you go to a restaurant, you could have two people, same restaurant, maybe the same food, and have two totally different experiences. One person is like, oh, this was good. And one person was like, oh, this is horrible. Don't be that person that is constantly complaining and finding the negative in situations. Be the person that finds the good and the positive in every situation, because it's only going to attract more good and more positive to you. So that is my message for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you have an experience with the law of attraction, definitely comment below. This is open discussion. I want to hear your stories about the law of attraction. Does it work for you? Does it not work for you? Do you believe in it? Do you not believe in it? So definitely share your stories with me. And until next time, love and light.
Thank you for listening to the Abundance Hack Podcast. Don't forget to leave comments and questions. Remember, every time you subscribe or leave a 5-star rating, I do my happy dance.